The brokerages are trying to stop this right now by making younger traders get margin called and give up their shares. That is the new price target, not 300. There's a new story behind the valuation, but the story still needs numbers, hence the fundamental value. Traded GME when I saw your YouTube video of this and made 100 in 5 minutes. Still not subscribing though. What? Don't fucking, like, I'm not telling you to do anything. Don't be a fucking idiot, okay? Like, especially if you're getting in at this point, like, you're a little late there, buddy, okay? Don't fucking do that. Opinion, stop laughing about GameStop's stock mania. No, really. Peepo Pago. Stop laughing! I mean, he's right. This is as true as a fucking article title as I've read thus far. As I've also said, the big boys are still going to make the money, and the little guys who are getting in on the tail end, who think that they're going to fucking be able to pay for their chemotherapy for their grandparents, are going to get fucked over if they don't make wise decisions. Anyway.
My position this morning, and I wanted to announce that I'm taking all the profits that I made, plus my original position. So I'm going to.
Okay, is there a better video of this? Because this one is fucking trash with the audio.
I ended up closing up my position this morning.
It's a 600%, and I can't even hear him. Such a weird anecdote you have. It's not a weird anecdote, man. A lot of fucking Americans are suffering from medical debt. How is that a weird anecdote? It's only a weird anecdote if you're in a position of profound privilege. If you literally don't think that so many of these people who are fucking day trading and retail investors or whatever, they're all doing this so they can, like, they're not doing this so they can buy a nice car and fucking flex on Instagram. A lot of them are literally doing this because they genuinely think they have a little bit of disposable income for the first time, and they genuinely think they can pay off a bunch of shit. They can, because money is freedom. That's what it is. Money is security and money is freedom. Money is everything if you don't have it. And then when you do have enough of it, it's nothing. It's meaningless. Okay? But a lot of people need to fucking pay off debt. A lot of people want to pay off their student loans and shit. And then there's, of course, the people who post about how they're lions on Instagram and, you know, talk about a lion does not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep, bro. I'm really fucking on the come up, bro. Like the dudes that were one step away from multi-level marketing schemes, like getting caught up in that shit and selling Herbalife. Like those dudes, of course, exist. It's dumbasses that are doing this. I can now write my mom a check and put my sister through college. Or put my sister through Lyme treatment. This has been a very rough year, but I'm so thankful every single one of you. Like that, there's stories like that for sure. This is better audio.
A lot of well-known names weighing in and buying in too, and that includes our next guest. He tweeted on Tuesday that he'd gone long through call options. Chamath Palihapitiya is the CEO of Social Capital. He joins us now on the phone.
This dude spits, dude. He spits fucking fire. I don't trust him because he is a CEO and a billionaire. He's also like running for governor. And again, that freaks me out a little bit. But every time I've seen him on CNBC, he's just spitting, dude. He is talking that good shit. So, you know, be a little suspicious, of course. Again, billionaire, CEO, Facebook guy, ex-Facebook Andy. But he does spit every single fucking time.
Chamath, thank you for being here.
Hi, Scott.
He's trying to do 0% tax rates in California. Oh, there it is. There it literally is. Okay. Well, just because someone is fucking acknowledging the inherent flaws within... just because someone acknowledges the inherent flaws within a capitalist organization of the economy and uses that to their advantage does not mean that they are all there.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks. So you tweeted yesterday that you bought $115 calls in GameStop. Can you tell me what your position is as of this very moment?
Yeah. Can I tell you a little story?
Wait, what? Oh, hold on. 0% state tax. We can cut tax from 0% to, from 16% and drive growth, which will increase state revenue from 150 billion to 300 billion. $70,000 teacher salary. Wait, what? I'm sorry, brother, but how is this? These motherfuckers are the first. Well, not him, but wealthy capitalists are the first people to say, "Oh, what? We're gonna fucking, grow money on trees? How are we gonna pay for the fucking healthcare? How are we gonna pay for the teachers?" Whereas he's literally doing that. He's doing that right now with 0% state tax, but $70,000 teacher salary. What are you going to pay for it out of pocket, dude? Global Center for Tech and Climate Jobs, free school vouchers. No way. The ISA model realigns and incentives of universities. CA will guarantee ISA so you don't have to get a student loan ever again. $2,000 for every newborn child. Oh, these are so bad. Oh, God, this is the worst thing I've ever fucking read in my life, dude. Oh, my God. Oh, this ruined it for me. I can't even... The cherry on top is sullied, my friends. This was going to be a wonderful moment, but, like, watching this sick fucking free school voucher Andy over here. Oh, Jesus Christ, Yang Gang all the way. Oh, yeah, he's like, we're going to fucking slap a fat VAT, okay? We're going to slap a fucking fat VAT, which is a regressive tax that taxes the working poor, okay? More than it taxes the wealthy. And we're going to solve this problem, boys, by cutting state tax to 0%. And then we're going to fund teachers' salaries while simultaneously crippling the public school funding with free school vouchers that we raid, where we literally actually bad take. Oh my God, dude. If you don't understand what, yeah, it's a bad take that the demon-like advocacy for fucking free school vouchers that you hear from QAnon freaks and Republican sickos all the way to like the worst elitist Democrats is actually a good policy. You're right. Oh, not the school vouchers, the VAT? Brother, everyone that constantly talks about the fucking VAT points to European countries or Turkey, which has the VAT. I grew up in a country that literally has a value-added tax. Except those countries also have additional taxes. They don't advocate for 0% state tax while simultaneously beefing up the VAT, dummy. That's not how that works, okay? If you're going to have a 70% top marginal tax rate, and then after that you add a fucking VAT on top of it to fund extra shit, then yeah, go right ahead. But you're out of your fucking mind if you think 0% state tax, and then you turn around and probably slap on a VAT and think like, oh, well, this will make up for the revenue. It's literally a regressive tax. You are taxing the working poor. That is how that works. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's watch him. Let's forget about all the bad things that he said, but...
Story before all of that, or no?
Why don't you tell me that first, and then we'll go from there.
So this morning I woke up after spending all last night in Wall Street Bets, reading about all of this stuff. I ended up closing up my position this morning, and I wanted to announce that I'm taking all the profits that I made, plus my original position. So I'm going to take $500,000, and I'm going to donate to the Barstool Fund for Small Businesses. But I really want to tell you, beyond the $500,000 donation or the money that I invested, which was, not a huge amount in the grand scheme of that stock or the entire market, what I learned, because I think what I learned over the last couple of days is important for everybody that's watching CNBC.
And that is?
I think that what you're seeing is essentially a pushback against the establishment in a really important way. You have a lot of people, and I would encourage anybody who is dismissive of this thing to go into Wall Street Bets and actually just read the forums. And I think that you're going to see three kinds of posts. The first kind of content are a lot of people doing some incredible fundamental diligence on companies, trying to think about long-term value. And in my opinion, many of them are doing as good and frankly a better job than a lot of hedge fund analysts that I work with. That's number one.
I'm imagining a bunch of CNBC boomers listening to this CEO and turning around and actually fucking going to this forum only to be met with people calling one another the F word, the R word, gay bears, and numerous other things. Just like hit in the fucking face. Like, oh, what's going on here? Yeah, calling each other autistic.
The second are a lot of people who believe that, coming out of 2008, what happened was Wall Street took an enormous amount of risk and they left retail as the bag holder. And a lot of these kids were in grade school and high school when that happened. They lost their homes. Their parents lost their jobs. And they've always wondered, why did those folks get bailed out for taking enormous amounts of risk and nobody helped and showed up to help my family? And then the third...
It really terrifies me when dudes that fucking know the problems and diagnose those problems then turn around and in their advocacy literally say, what we need is more of the reason why these problems exist to begin with. And what I'm referencing is literally saying, education is a big issue. So what we need is actually more sensible neoliberal free market reforms. That is literally the opposite, dude. And that frustrates me to no end. But I do think that people like Chamath and even people like Andrew Yang are well-intentioned overall, despite the fact that he is kind of a bit of a shark. It's totally on purpose to get in on the fucking GameStop shit and then put those funds towards small businesses. You know what I mean? This guy could fucking sneeze on small businesses on accident and save more of them if he wanted to. He's a literal fucking billionaire. But he's running for governor against fucking Gavin Newsom. And that's part of the reason why he's doing some of this stuff. But I do still think that he could be... I do still think that he is well-intentioned, but a little deluded. His worldview that has also given him a lot of money, in his personal experience that has made him a lot of money, is that capitalism is inherently good. And, we just need to continue that system. We're just not doing the system right. But I feel like he's the type of person that you could actually talk to and maybe change the minds of a little bit. How the fuck does he expect to win? Dude, Gavin Newsom's popularity is not going to be looking too good.
Third thing is a realization that instead of having idea dinners or, quiet whispered conversations amongst hedge funds in the Hamptons, these kids have the courage to do it transparently in a forum. And I'm not saying all of it is perfect by any means, but I think it takes an enormous amount of faith in the system to be that transparent, to talk about things, and then for each individual to make their own mind up and to do things, whether it's to buy and to sell. And I think that what it proves is this retail phenomenon is here to stay. There are 2.7 million people inside of Wall Street Bets. I think that they are as important as any hedge fund or collection of hedge funds. And I think the most important thing is that in a world of zero interest rates and quantitative easing, I don't know how you can run a typical hedge fund strategy and make money anymore. Because, for example, when you looked at GameStop, a normal person would say, how can you have 136% short interest? How can you be short 40% more shares than actually exist in the world? To a normal person, that doesn't make any sense. But to a Wall Street mathematician, that's the game that has been played for years. And that game came undone.
Well, I mean, that may be that may be somewhat of an extreme example. Let me just go through a couple of things you said here. I have a hard time believing. I mean, you suggested that there's a good amount of fundamental research going on underneath the GameStop Reddit.
He's gonna bring up gay bears and shit. I have a hard time believing that the gay bears are doing the fundamental research. First of all, Chamath is correct. There is no justification for 140%, overshorting a stock by 140%. There's no justification for it. and they got fucking caught. So technically, that is literally someone very clearly recognizing a flaw and manipulating, or at least using that exploit.
Situation. Do you truly believe that there's actual fundamental research? Not to disparage in any way the people who are actually making these trades, but this seems to be momentum rather than a deep fundamental analysis.
Scott, there's momentum in traditional hedge funds and how they move stocks as well. But it's really disparaging if the starting position is these guys can't do the same quality of research as an analyst in a fund. That's just not true.
I didn't say that. I didn't say they can't do that kind of research. I'm questioning whether they're actually doing the research when it comes to things like GameStop and AMC and some of these other things.
There's a distribution. And obviously at one end, there are fundamental analysts. But on the other end, there are momentum traders that follow trends. But by the way, the dirty little secret of Wall Street is that exists in hedge fund land. The reason why this GameStop trade has caused so much pain is because at the top of the pecking order was Melvin Capital. Those guys were incredible stock pickers. They are incredible fundamental modelers of companies. Okay, Gabe Plotkin is one of the sort of giants of our era, of my era, right? But at the end of the day, what happens is, irrespective of what he puts on, his trades are mimicked and copied by umpteen other hedge funds that follow along. For every LP that can't get into Melvin, they get into a copycat fund that works basically like Melvin. And so when the trade goes against him, then it goes against all these people all at the same time. So the reality is there are fundamental momentum investors in the market that are organized capital, i.e. hedge funds, and disorganized, loosely affiliated capital, i.e. Wall Street bets. And I think what you're seeing is the push and pull of that, and the realization should be that if every person was forced to publish their fundamental research, it would be hard to distinguish the best version of research from Wall Street bets and the best version of research from a hedge fund. They don't have an edge. And this is what you're exposing, is that edge is gone. And now all of a sudden, retail can be on the same footing, and they don't have to be the bag holder to Wall Street.
But let me ask you this. But somebody from retail is going to eventually be to use your words, bag holder in this situation, are they not? And do you think it's responsible for you and some other big names who tweeted about it yesterday and to get involved yourself, knowing that you guys are considered the Pied Pipers, that people are going to follow you into these trades, and someone is ultimately going to get hurt after you and others are long gone, Chamath?
Dude, where was that message in 2008, Scott? Really? I mean, that's a joke. For example, let's look at Tesla. Who was right on Tesla? I'll tell you who was right. Every single retail investor. I was right. Elon Musk was right. Let me tell you who was wrong. Every single hedge fund. Name after name when it comes to innovation, when it comes to growth, when it comes to people trying to do.
This is the part where I pull out the fucking parachute. Like, you can say rolled, but ultimately, like, it's still the same fucking principle, right? You're saying rolled, but it's literally the same principle. It's the same principle that fucking props up Tesla stocks is the exact same principle why a stock can be manipulated to be so low, or with a pump get to this position where hedge funds are literally losing fucking billions of dollars. The shorts on Tesla were all scam bullshit, just like on GME.
Fundamentally useful things in the world. If it doesn't fit into the mold that Wall Street wants, they try to organize against it. And there has been pushback after pushback after pushback in individual names, and this is yet another form of pushback. And all I'm trying to say is the mechanics of how Wall Street has worked. And again, I wish you would ask this detailed question. Why is it allowed for some...
People who are saying Tesla shorts were bullshit fail to recognize what I'm stating, which is that Tesla's valuation to begin with is fucking bullshit. Like, yeah, the shorts are bullshit. It's all bullshit. Okay? It's all bullshit.
Somebody running a hedge fund to basically claim that they are market neutral, but be levered up. They take a $10 billion fund, and their prime brokers allow them to run $100 billion of notional notional exposure. Who thinks that that's fair? It's not fair to the retail investor, because when that blows up and a $100 billion hole exists in a fund, which, by the way, this is exactly what happened in 2008, the government bails them out. Who is the government? All of us. So, retail has been the bag holder before. Retail.
Do you have idea what the fuck you are talking about? Are you saying you have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about? Or are you saying I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about? Tesla's valuation and its stock prices are directly tied to the fact that it's not supposed to be a car company, but it's actually a technology company or a green energy company, okay? That's what it is. But that's still all entirely speculative. That's simply what I'm stating. Do you understand? And it's all speculative. So technically it's still... No, it's not. Well, what is it on then? Is it because you fucking like going vroom vroom in the cars? Is that why? Is it because Elon Musk allowed you to have your car sing Christmas carols to you? You fucking delusional, brain-dead morons. This is literally what... This is why some of these elitist dipshits are right when they say retail investors are fucking stupid, okay?
Caused these things before. Hedge funds have caused these things before. So if you're going to talk about taking the gun away from the baby, let's make sure we figure out who the baby is.
Yeah, but do you think that you helped fan the flames and others like you, whether it's, one of the Winklevi brothers tweeting about it, Elon Musk tweeting about it, that it's ultimately driving this stock up well beyond what the fundamentals say that it should be? I mean, I don't think you think, and you tell me, do you think that GameStop is worth $350 a share?
What I can tell you is that
my favorite part about this is, like, whenever people in the chat have a counter to what I'm saying, it's never like, here is why you're wrong. You're actually wrong. And Tesla stock prices are perfectly understandable. Instead of saying why I'm wrong, it's just you're fucking wrong and you don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay? That's it. Like, no, you don't entertain those chats? I absolutely do. It's on limitless demand. It's a pretty valuable thing, but everything in the end is speculation. Someone, no question. It is. It is all speculative. Of course, it's fucking all speculation.
when I put that position on, $125,000 position, I used it to acquire knowledge and learning. And what I was trying to figure out is how these positions move in the modern trading era. And what I can tell you is, up until that point, the setup made no mathematical sense. How do you be short 140% of a company's shares? That wasn't retail.
Well, maybe that's a question for regulators, that maybe the way that that's allowed to happen needs to be examined. But
I'll tell you how it's allowed to happen. It's allowed to happen so that hedge funds can charge 2 and 20 to their limited partners, independent of consequences. I'll tell you another way that it's allowed to happen. Hedge funds are allowed to take their money, go to a prime broker, and all of a sudden get 10x multiplication on that money. That's the problem. You have trillions of dollars of notional being traded by these organizations. You have maybe billions of dollars being traded by retail.
I want to get back to the issue at hand, which I don't feel like you answered the question. This idea of, somebody's going to get hurt. You sound like you're an advocate for the little guy, so to speak, right? But yet by getting involved, why did you get involved in the first place? I mean, you said that to get information. I mean, you wanted to make.
The real answer is because he's running for governor in California, and he needs to. This is a great fucking W. Like, he looks like he's on the side of the little guy as the ethical billionaire at a time when billionaires are getting an understandable bad rap. And he's done this before. And that's part of the reason why even someone like myself, who's overall very skeptical of billionaires, still thinks that this guy has like this guy is wrong, but he still means well. Do you know what I mean?
Money on the trade. Come on, right? You wanted to make money.
To move the needle, I need to strap on hundreds of millions of dollars. So I wanted to learn. Why did I want to learn? When I saw that article in the Wall Street Journal, I had no idea about Melvin Capital, really. I had no idea about Wall Street Bets, really. I had no idea about GameStop, except that it had been mentioned to me in a couple of tweets throughout the year. So I tweeted out after I read the article, hey, folks, tell me an interesting trade that I can put on tomorrow for a few $100K so I can learn, basically. That tweet got 10 million impressions and 13,000 comments. And when I went through there, a lot of people pointed to GameStop and pointed to Wall Street Bets. And when I went in there and started to look around, what I thought is, my God, here is a dynamic about trading, about momentum, about stocks, about short interest, about gamma squeezes. These are not things that I know a lot about, and so I put in a small position to learn. And what I learned is that people can do fundamental research, come to a point of view that's diametrically opposed to organized capital, and they can be right. And I'm allowed to be on the right side of that. You know, it's not my job to go and defend a bunch of, highly compensated hedge fund managers against losses. And just the fact that for one time, those folks lost.
100K is a small position for someone like him, dude. Of course. Guys, he's a multi-billionaire. What are you talking about? It's literally a small position for him. That's how outside of this world he is, because billionaires are literally fucking aliens, dude. Okay? They are aliens, motherfucker. I'm going to get to the Matthew Stoller take that we talked about briefly yesterday, because Citadel is also a market maker, so they're literally getting trade positions ahead of time, and what these other billionaires are probably engaging in to manipulate the stock prices to fucking own hedge funds. We'll talk about that in a second, though.
We can bellyache and cry on national television. To me, is a joke.
Well, I mean, I don't
There's
think
a lot of kids. Hold on a second. There's a lot of kids and a lot of people on Wall Street Bets who have made money to pay off their mortgage. I read about a post yesterday of a kid that was able to pay off his entire student loans and posted it. That's amazing progress.
I'm not suggesting, and I'm not trying to come off that way, that I'm suggesting what's happened on Wall Street Bets or what this cohort of traders is doing is wrong.
It's not.
I don't think that there's much of a difference from, and I know it's been mentioned on this network already today, but the first thing I thought of in this situation was back to the Herbalife episode, where you had a fairly sizable group of well-known hedge fund managers decide to take the other side of Bill Ackman's trade. He was, of course, short. They all went long. They made a fundamental case in their own mind, and whatever worked for them to have the conviction that they did to take that trade. Part of it was undoubtedly trying to hurt the short, who was Bill Ackman at that time. Maybe some of them did it through.
See, what I don't understand is, like, how can you defend this position? It's like both of these people are arguing while simultaneously holding on to the belief that the market is supposed to fucking operate a certain way. At least with Chamath, like, he's saying these guys are fucking hypocrites, and you are hypocrites for defending them, because what the Wall Street Bets people are doing is literally the fucking exact same thing, but on the inverse of what these hedge funds were doing to begin with. And if these hedge funds weren't doing that, specifically Melvin wasn't fucking overshorting, then there would be no conversation to be had here. Okay? So I'm confused as to how you can defend it without recognizing that at the heart of this fucking convo lies the very real truth that a lot of this is gambling, speculative, and doesn't really have all that much to do with the actual assets, even though the assets do drive the conversation. The revenue does drive the conversation. Ultimately, you can go against that. And that's precisely what the original fucking shorting shows. And that's precisely what the original what the Wall Street Bets' actions showed, is that regardless of the fucking assets, regardless of the fucking revenue, regardless of what the projections are, you can absolutely artificially increase or decrease a stock price with this sort of, I guess, manipulative behavior. But you can't say one side is manipulative and the other side isn't, when shorting itself is literally manipulative behavior. So I don't know. SEC already made a statement. We are aware of and actively monitoring the ongoing market volatility in the options equities markets, and consistently with our mission to protect investors and maintain fair, orderly, and efficient markets, we are working with our fellow regulators to assess the situation and review the activities of regulated entities, financial and the fuck, dude. SEC can fucking suck my dick, dude. Oh, seriously, like you're never there. You're never there when it comes to these institutions. You're only there when. You're only there when what? Like Wall Street Bets is fucking making some money? Get the fuck out of here, dude. The fuck is buy GameStop circulating as a meme? Market manipulation? Who's manipulating it? Millions of people? It's not just the millions of people, as I also pointed out multiple times with everyone shoving this fucking convo back down my goddamn throat. There is money to be made there, so of course other larger industry drivers are going to get in on it. But we'll talk about the manipulation part in a second.
Going to an idea dinner or whatever other forum through personal phone calls or emails, and there was a large group of people on one side of the trade. I don't think it's any different. I don't think it's any different.
You just said it's not different. You're right. Idea dinners, that concept has existed for decades on Wall Street, where people get together in closed rooms behind closed doors and usher around names of companies, and they coalesce and decide to cooperate together. The guys on Wall Street Bets just do it in the public completely transparently. In my opinion, that takes a lot more courage. And
also on top of that, there is no allegedly, little boys and girls involved, allegedly. So, I'm just saying.
You could actually be wrong. Somebody can actually say, hey, listen, what you said made completely no sense whatsoever. And so what is the difference? In my opinion, this is the modern day.
Why are you saying politics, Andy talks finance, Pepega? I mean, there's a reason why there's so many fucking finance bros in here right now listening to me talk about this shit. And not many of them are idiotically chiming in because we are in agreement for the most part. You can say Pepega all you fucking want, but I'm correct.
Instantiation of that dynamic just writ large and at scale.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that there are inevitably going to be people who get hurt. I'm not talking about hedge fund managers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who follow people into the trade, who think that this stock is going to continue to go up because that's what they've been conditioned to think in the pandemic.
What should we do?
Because all stocks go up, apparently.
What should we do? Not allow folks. Here's what will happen.
Wait, he's like, now he's mad about now he's mad about the stock market. What the fuck, dude? Everybody thinks that the stock market is only slated to grow up and this is a problem. Yeah, no shit. He's right. But where the fuck were you 3 months ago, motherfucker? Where was this literal fucking concern? Where was this concern a year ago? Where was this concern when everybody was like, well, Donald Trump is really fucking doing a great job with the market. That's undeniable. What the fuck, dude? Quantitative easing is actually no longer good. I have decided. Permanent growth is great when y'all are taking the large lion's share of the profits. But permanent growth is no longer good the first moment that like a bunch of fucking small-time Robin Hood Andys take like crumbs in the grand scheme of things from a fucking hedge fund. Jesus Christ, dude. It is so glaringly obvious the disdain that these people have for people who are not supposed to be making money.
Basically, if you follow your logic, then you'll say, you know what? Retail doesn't know what they're doing. I think you're wrong. Then the thing will be, retail shouldn't be allowed to participate in the stock market. I think you're wrong. And then you know what will happen, Scott? The inequality gap will grow and grow and grow. Because then what are they supposed to do then? Buy an ETF, a passive fund? They can't buy into hedge funds because the rules don't allow them to. So now systematically what you've done is you entrench poverty.
No, I mean, that's taking it too far. This is just accentuating those thoughts that Wall Street's a casino. And
Wait, because it is. Because it literally is. Shut the fuck up.
That's taking it
now, system fund. They can't buy into hedge funds because the rules don't allow them to. So now systematically what you've done is you entrench poverty.
No, I mean, that's taking it too far.
So CEO Andy here is correct that like Wall Street further exacerbates income inequality and wealth inequality in this country. It does. When capital accumulation is the name of the game, and those who own the majority share of the capital that's floating around on the market end up being able to offset their losses and continue to literally make more money off the casino by straight up owning the casino. He's right when he says that this absolutely exacerbates income and wealth inequality in this country.
This is just accentuating those thoughts that Wall Street's a casino and nothing more. That's what this is.
Allowing retail investors isn't going to fix that, though. Yeah, exactly. That's not changing the system at all, dude. That at all.
I don't think so. I think this is an example of if you are going to so massively oversell a company to the extent that you're selling 40 more shares of that company that don't exist, and all of a sudden other folks are like, hey, wait a minute, this is going to get squeezed, and they buy it. That's just a smart trade. Retail saw it. Wall Street missed it, and they paid the price. So maybe to your point, Scott, what regulators should do is say, hey, wait a minute, how can we allow companies to be 140% short? That doesn't make any sense. Maybe that's what should happen.
You think this overall situation is fine for the market? I'm also curious as to look, you have taken companies public through SPACs at a rate that others have not. You're relying on the integrity of the stock market itself to be able to do what you do and be successful doing it. You don't think what we're witnessing now calls into question the integrity of the stock market, that a lot of different stocks with seemingly no fundamental story behind them to this degree can see their stock.
To this degree is doing a lot of the work there, buddy. To this degree. There is a degree of speculative moves being made in the stock market that is allowed. But to this degree, well, then that's made up. Where's the integrity of the stock market now? Not to this degree, I say. Not to this degree. Where's the integrity? There is no integrity, motherfucker. That's the point.
Stocks rise in this magnitude, and all of that is just fine? That there's nothing wrong with the integrity of the system if that is occurring?
The lack of integrity in the system is the precursor that caused GameStop to be sold short 136%, and for people to try to pile on and destroy a company in front of our eyes.
So this is the pro-capitalist point of view, which I've addressed already early on in the day. From a pro-capitalist point of view, sorry if you think shorting fucking GameStop in the way that you did is a part of market fundamentals, and you're basically doing a good job by shorting companies like this because you're not just driving the price down, but you're exposing a flaw in the valuation or the stock prices of a company, not the valuation, but the stock prices of a company. Then this is basically the countermeasure to that. Okay? If you overshort, then you get fucked. This is literally just a counter to that. That is the pro-capitalist approach to this conversation. Mine is one step further than that, which is that, yes, they are both a part of the system because the system is fundamentally flawed. It is fundamentally broken and not tied to actual meaningful product, and that it should be heavily regulated to the point where it is no longer gambling in this way, and that the ownership should switch over from shareholders to stakeholders such as actual workers that work within the companies. If corporations or people listen to the stock market, technically slavery. ETFs are almost never a gamble. Stocks only go up. Oh, okay.
He feels wrong. That feels pretty un-American, if you ask me. I think GameStop is a reasonable business. I think what they do is reasonable. And so the fact that they shouldn't be allowed to exist because all of a sudden, we decide that they should be obliterated into the ground.
Well, they should be allowed to exist. They should be allowed to exist at whatever their stock should be valued at based on what their earnings are. And the stock was like
the free market
$17, $18 not that long ago.
Who says that? Who says that? Do you want to make the same argument about Tesla? It's gone 10x in a few months. You don't know what.
See, that's the point, though. Like, that's where he loses me a little bit, which is like, yeah, no, it's the same game, though. Like, it's still the same kind of speculation that is literally pushing Tesla prices through the fucking roof, with the assumption that Tesla is not, again, a car manufacturer, but instead like a renewable energy company, a technology company. So is Uber, a technology company, not a fucking, not a way to disrupt the previous medallion-backed taxi business. You know what I mean? Like, that is what he's saying. I know he's saying that, but he likes it. I'm saying that, and I don't like it. I think that's where we separate. That's where we part our ways. Like, we both agree that it's all speculative, okay? But he doesn't have an issue with it, whereas I do. It's the same game, but with different players, and there's only one loser. The retail investors who thought this money will change their life and go all in. Yeah, that is definitely going to hurt. I hope people aren't doing that. He can't take anti-capitalist approach on national television. Maybe he doesn't like the system, but he can't say it. I don't think he doesn't like the system. I think he likes the system.
What it's worth. Let's be honest. Okay?
You don't think that Tesla's growth prospects?
Scott, I have my own model for the company. I'm allowed to underwrite however I want to own it. Everybody that bought that stock is also underwriting how they want to own it. And the point is, just because you're wrong doesn't mean you get to change the rules, especially when you were wrong, you got bailed out the last time. That's not fair.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that these investors who were short the stock were necessarily wrong. I mean, I still haven't heard you tell me what the fundamental case is.
People here are complete idiots. No one is being forced to invest. In general, invest if you want or don't. It's a gamble, yes. Prices are driven by consumer and institutional expectations. Stock market can make anyone rich, lol. Everyone's sour, just sucks at it. Thanks, brother. We'll see you on the other side, okay? I hope you didn't go fucking all in on GameStop. I love that. That's my favorite kind of fucking Wall Street bet guy. That's the guy who can't shut the fuck up and like can't enjoy the moment and literally has to expose how fucking dumb he is, dude. Yeah. The most like Econ 101. I took a fucking econ course in college, so I'm literally fucking Jordan Belfort Andy. Okay. Anyway, also, I feel like his host got way too much shit for basically saying retailers will be fucked, and it sucks, but that's a free market. That's how it works. Retailers could be fucked, but he's virtue signaling about the retailers, okay? He's literally virtue signaling about the wealth or the situation that like retail investors are putting themselves in. That's bullshit. The real anger that he has is currently the fact that like there is manipulation going on. Okay, in his way, it's manipulation when the retail investors engage in collective action that goes against the market fundamentals. And it's not the same the other way around when hedge funds do it. That's at the heart of this fucking... That is at the heart of the problem here. Retailers losing their initial investment is not comparable to hedge funds losing infinitely. If this was the reverse, this wouldn't be a topic. If this was the reverse, this would literally be every other day in the market. Yeah, 100%, 140% short was not manipulation. is exactly at the heart of the fucking problem here. Anyway, I got to run an ad right now. Don't short the Hasanabi stocks, but I got to run a 60-second ad break right here. If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free, which for all the Wall Street bet investment Andes comes down to correctly, if we correctly game the math here, 5 cents, or is it 2 cents? 2 cents an hour for your how's that for an ROI? Okay, there it is. Here's the ad, and you can do it for free with a Twitch Prime as well, or not at all. Actually, I don't really give a shit.
For GameStop at $3.50 or AMC theaters, which have been closed for months and months and months, is worth what the stock's trading at now, or any number of these things, the way that they're trading. There's no fundamental reason why they're there. They're trading because there's this momentum cohort behind it, whether it's on Reddit or Robinhood or wherever else.
But Scott, why is that all of a sudden so wrong to you, this kind of momentum trading? Because, for example, if you look under the hood on every quant strategy, organized, quantitative, strategic hedge funds on Wall Street, those things are all momentum shops. They trade day over day, massively levered, small swings. So basically what you're saying is, hey, if retail runs a momentum play to squeeze a short, that's wrong. But hey, if Renaissance Technologies and somebody else does it, that's okay. That's what you're saying. You may not know that that's what you're saying, but that's what you're saying. And to me, that feels very unfair.
No. What I'm saying is someone's going to get screwed. Okay, someone's going to get screwed, and it's going to be one of the retail. It's going to be a retail investor who gets screwed because they think that this is the way the game works. That this is the new Wall Street. They're new to this game. Maybe they haven't been in the game that long. Not everybody. Not trying to say that in any way, shape.
But if you gave a fuck about that, you would literally be advising them to exit appropriately when the time comes, which is what you do when it comes to like the smart investors that are invested in all of the institutional traders that you love so much. But instead of doing that, you're fucking crying about them manipulating the stock price artificially. It's fucking bullshit. Like, you don't give a fuck about the retailers, okay? You just don't. You literally don't care. It's literally just purely virtue signaling. He's not wrong. He's not wrong technically when he says these people think this is how the market works. And there are a lot of people who literally do think this is how the market works because there's been endless growth. And inevitably that's going to, that bubble is going to burst. That's why there's people like this. I'll just show you this real quick. This is what I wanted to show you that a lot of people have been made fun. A lot of people have made fun of here. Something bad is definitely going to happen soon. Look at this fucking TikTok, dude. Here.
So how do we make money from home? For starters, this is not a sponsored video. We just get this question all the time, and honestly, the answer is really simple.
So basically, I just trade stocks on an app called Robinhood, which I left a link in our bio if you want to check it out. It's free to download, free to sign up. They actually give you a free stock, so they're paying you to sign up. But again, not sponsored. And I know trading sounds intimidating. Here's my strategy in a nutshell. I see a stock going up and I buy it. And I just watch it until it stops going up, and then I sell it, and I do that over and over, and it pays for our whole lifestyle.
Wow, dude. Such brilliant insight, dude. That fucking blew my mind. Here's how I do it. I buy a stock when it's really high, and then I wait for it to go low, okay? And then I sell it. That's I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Can someone describe how this works to me? That's so crazy. Such crazy madness that I wish I knew how this worked beforehand. I wish I saw this. I wish I knew how Stonks worked.
If you're wondering how much you can make doing this, in this month, I turned about 400 into 14,000. And in this month, I turned less than 1,000 into 20,000.
And honestly, my favorite part about this isn't even the amount of money you can make, but just the fact that we don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, we can focus on things that we actually enjoy doing. So if you have friends that like want to make money from home, you can tag them or send them a link. Or if you make money this way, share it in the comments so other people know like there's more people doing this now.
Anyway, he's getting free stocks for people signing up using his link. Yeah. So you're new to the game, Hassan. One day you'll understand stocks, kiddo, or momentum, kiddo. Exactly. So what happens when it no longer go up? What happens when number go down? Do we think number only go up forever and ever and ever? Does number go down sometimes? No, stonk go no down. Stonk only go up. You wrong. Stonk only no up. Number no go down. Right? That's how it works, right? Exactly. That's the fucking problem. And then one day when it go down big, okay? And that's when you buy the dip. Over the span of 50 years, stocks always do go up. See, here's the problem. This is these guys aren't like, let's fucking buy some what is it called, like ETFs or whatever. Like, let's buy some fucking reasonable low risk, low reward mutual funds or anything like that. You're basically acting like you're literally only making sane fucking and very low risk, very low reward investments, when in fact that's not what these guys are doing. They're doing like a fucking penny trader or like day trader weird fucking Jordan Belfort mishmash, and thinking that that's how you make money over the 50 years. You call me out, but I'm not talking shit low. I'm no Wall Street investor. I didn't invest in GameStop because it's a crazy house. This proves the prices can be driven up or down by institutional retail investors. Lol. People are just dumping their money into GameStop and Tesla, and institutions sell off, retailers get hurt. ETFs are the smart long-term investment. As someone who has no clue about stocks, I now don't even have the desire to want to get one. Good. I don't think, I mean, look. I am definitely a caveman when it comes to. Hassan knows two names in the game: Jordan Belfort and Warren Buffett. Yeah. These guys have made 10, 20x what they put in, and they are fucking over these billionaires with retail trades. You should be all about this, Hassan. Brother man, this is not how this works in the long term, okay? You're being silly. You're not making $400. You're not turning $400 into $14,000 by investing it wisely in low risk, low reward funds. Okay. They're literally talking about stock go up all the time. Like, they think because they got 2 fucking months of like lucky streaks in what they assume is like a permanent growth market, that there will never be a downtrend whatsoever. They are going to get fucking obliterated. Do you understand? This is not how this fucking works. That is precisely why when Warren Buffett literally made that fucking bet a couple years back with hedge fund managers about how many years, over the course of how many years, like hedge fund managers would never be able to outcompete just the S&P index. Like, was it 15 years or 10? I don't remember. I'll just look up the actual fucking detail. But like, no hedge fund ends up outcompeting the market. Okay? You literally cannot outcompete the market. So what these guys are doing is hitting a lucky streak and thinking that that's how you fucking do it. And the people that are You dumbass, they literally do. 1 year they do, and the next year they don't. Please stop, dude. If you look at hedge funds' long-term performance and not their best years, you will realize that they do not fucking end up beating the market. That's just, and the stock Andy will tell you this as well. Like every fucking sane person, beyond the point of like studying for their Series 66 or whatever, is aware of this reality. And that's the weird thing is like, the weird thing about this is that like people play Mott and Bailey with this argument where they will literally turn around and say, no, you fucking moron, you can absolutely beat the market. And then when pushed further, or like when I tell them like it's still gambling, they will turn around and be like, well, what about fucking ETFs, dude? That's where you're like, okay, well, I don't disagree with you, but that is the market. That's not beating the market. And that's not what these guys are doing. The funny thing is, like, if this was all that simple, and you could turn 400 into 14,000 every month, then there would be no need for fucking, like, people with PhDs in astrophysics or whatever the fuck to literally focus their entire time on creating complicated derivatives and financial tools to make billions of dollars off of tiny fucking microtransactions or being ahead of the competition with high frequency trading in like milliseconds. Okay? It would just be dudes like this who went to Ohio State, you know, regular old Buckeyes, working and just making fucking $1 gazillion. That's not how this works. You're being silly. There's a hedge fund that has profit 30% year return over 30 years. You have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. If no hedge fund could beat the fucking SP 500, why the fuck would hedge funds exist? You goddamn himbo who doesn't know shit. How the fuck do you not have stock and lecturing us on stocks, you goddamn himbo? I mean, I'm not going to get into this any further, but capital accumulation isn't the only way you can make money. I know that many people forget this under finance capitalism. You're completely wrong on that hedge fund. And if it's 30% growth over 30 years, how much did the fucking market grow in the past 30 years? I don't know. But I'm fairly certain that that doesn't mean that you outcompeted the market. And lastly, yeah, 30% over 30 years is 1% growth every year. And lastly, I think I'm doing all right financially. Like, I think I'm doing all right. It's 30% per year? Yeah, I don't believe that. I guess I'm wrong, guys. Maybe I'm wrong. And this guy actually tapped into the fucking secret juice. And he knows. Anyway. Where were we? Let's get back to this. It's
shape or
almost done.
form.
I
But
think you're
somebody's going to
taking
get
away-
hurt. I'm not talking about the billionaire with the big house in the Hamptons.